8:50 everybody, welcome back. Here's some numbers for you. More than 1 million New Yorkers are struggling with food insecurity. And here's more of a breakdown. The highest rate of food insecurity is in the Bronx with 19.7%, followed by Brooklyn 15.5%, and then Manhattan at 13.6%. So Queens and Staten Island not too far behind either, as you can see.
Yeah, that's where City Harvest steps in to fill in the gap.
The help from here, we can
manage a little bit. We manage.
Food means everything. My mom told us we had to eat healthy.
And right now, it is expensive.
So City Harvest works with restaurants, businesses, and farmers to rescue millions of pounds of food each year, which is then redistributed where it's needed the most. Reducing food waste is also critical for our environment. So joining us this morning to explain why is the CEO of City Harvest, Jilly Stevens. So good morning, Jilly. Thanks for being with us.
Good to see you.
So it's hard to believe that New York City's food insecurity, we make up more than half of the folk in the entire state that need food. Is that really the case? It's hard to believe.
That's right. It is an incredibly high number. We're seeing numbers of people turning to food pantries at around 75% higher than they were before the pandemic. It's a time of incredible need for people. We probably thought we saw that need peak during those pandemic years, but in fact, millions of New Yorkers continue to turn to soup kitchens and food pantries around the 5 boroughs.
Yeah. And the work you do at City Harvest obviously is so important. We highlight it each and every time you're out there in the community, right? And you do it with dignity, which is really important for so many. But now there's this thing, the food rescue program, to kind of bring in some more items. So how does that program work?
The food rescue initiative that we run really is about rescuing very great food, very nutritious food that would otherwise go to waste.
Okay.
So much of the food in this country is going to landfill. And we want to prevent that, right? It's something we've been doing for over 40 years. During that time, we've rescued over 1 billion pounds of food that didn't end up in the landfill. So all those inputs that go towards growing, harvesting, cooling, transporting food, they haven't been for nothing. That's food that's ended up on the tables of New Yorkers.
Yeah, but I'm sure a lot of folks are wondering, how do you do that? How many partners do you have to make all of that happen?
Well, we rely on so many partners. So many people in New York City and the region come together to make this possible. We rely on our donors, of course, who fuel the work. That's financial donors and food donors. There are about 2,000 regular food donors in New York City. Our trucks will go and get the food from them and deliver that food very often the same day to a network of around 400 food pantries. They're our partners as well. And they help us guide, where the food should go, and we make sure we get it there fresh and delicious in good quantities.
Yeah, today is Earth Day, and it's all about treating Mother Earth respectfully. And when you look at food insecurity and food waste, it could be directly linked to climate crisis at the same time. Can you talk about the correlation?
Right. I mean, that food that is not being consumed is ending up in landfills.
Yeah.
And that is contributing to greenhouse gas emissions. And so it's been from day one for us really important to stop that food waste, make sure it doesn't get into landfill, and make sure that it's being consumed by people who need it.
Yeah.
I mean, so what can we do? How can we help?
There are so many ways for New Yorkers to help an organization like City Harvest. Donating, of course, is always a great way to support. Every dollar that's donated can help us feed 2 people for a day. Volunteering is also a great way for people to get involved. We were born out of a volunteer initiative over 40 years ago, and we still rely on volunteers today, whether it's coming to our food rescue facility and helping us repack food, green market pickups. The farmers at the green markets in the city are so generous, and that's great food that people can help us collect.
What is your piece of advice for somebody at home who is saying, well, I'm listening to her talk about so much food waste. How do I reduce food waste in a simple way at home?
Well, of course, at City Harvest, we're mitigating food waste on a very big scale.
Yeah.
But you're right, there are things that we can all do at home to make sure we're not wasting food. Shopping thoughtfully is a good way, making a list before you go to the store so you're not buying more food than you need. And then reducing waste at the end, making sure that if you're not eating everything in a meal, you can freeze it, food can be composted. Lots of great organizations in the city are working hard to ensure there are places we can compost food.
And real quickly, if you're somebody right now watching that is suffering from food insecurity, how do they reach out to you for help?
Anyone who needs help getting food can visit the City Harvest website, cityharvest.org, and right there we have resources, including a map of every place in the city you can go to get food.
All right. Julie, appreciate you and all the work you do at City Harvest. Keep it up, all right?
Thank you.
We'll have much more information on our website, how you can get involved with City Harvest if you want to volunteer, pix11.com always.